Yes, I was once a freshman in college too.
Thank you for thinking so highly of me.
And I see you in your Hugo Boss.
Of serving cunt? Didn't know that was a crime.
This is groundbreaking in a way that I can't quite describe.
If anything else, she's already won because she doesn't have an Instagram. I'm like, that is the most chic thing alive.
I was one of these precocious kids that grew up fast.
You know I've always said this, but I love when a white bitch barks back. And this one does.
Now that I'm a mother, I take Halloween very seriously.
I know, I've actually been suffering this whole time.
One thing about me, I know when someone's about to get divorced. I can smell a divorce coming.
Spidey senses, if you will.
Like, I was looking through Instagram, doing my little checking up on people, I don't know. And two separate people, I'm convinced they're like about to get a divorce or have already filed and we're just like waiting for the big announcement. Sure enough, I went through some group chats. I was right.
Went through some group chat sounds crazy. What is that? You just opened the group chat and decided to engage?
I checked in on some interested parties who might know more than me, and they were like, "Oh, absolutely, 100%." Like, it's been going on for quite a while, and people are just now about to find out. I was like, "Oof, I love my little watch too much USA characters welcome growing up. Watch too many police procedurals growing up, and also have
a little too
parents.
much Monk, if you will."
Listen, and did. It's a jungle.
I love
out
that this feels like a skill that the FBI should and could use somehow, somewhere.
I should be one of those people who like serve like summons, like court summons, because I can give me 20 minutes and an Instagram and a TikTok, and I will suss out a lot of information in a very limited amount of time.
Wait, like the people that are like, you get served?
Yeah, yeah.
You got served starring Omarion, which is a perfect segue to what I'm about to say.
Actually, wait, I think you did get served because I saw the video you posted of your dad's students making him like his little AI.
Yeah, my dad, the kids that my dad coaches discovered AI. Shout out to the youth, I guess, and created all these different videos of him like shucking and jiving. It's so crazy, and I'm so
don't say
thankful.
Shucking and driving. Say twerking. Well, that's what he was doing.
Wait, shucking and jiving actually sounds like these kids are white. Like the kids he coaches are white. Like so that sounds actually really derogatory.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I want to talk about you got served. I want to talk about Omarion. Because here's what happened to me. You can never make me hate LA. You can never make me hate LA because I was on the phone and I'm seeing across the street and I'm like, okay, some stud is checking me out. Typical. Just another day. And then I look closer and I'm like, oh, that's no stud. That's Omarion. I'm not joking. And in West Hollywood, and he gets into this big, gigantic car that's, of course, like 10 times his size. There's no need for such a small man to be driving such a big car.
He was driving it? He was riding? Like, was it a Sprinter van?
No, this was his own car. He was driving it.
Okay.
He was in the driver's seat, if you will. So, one, brag, Omarion checking me out. But two, it did make me realize, oh my God, Omarion is a stud. Like, wow. Omarion is of the Lil Wayne generation of looking like a stud.
Wow. That's so powerful. Don't let Billie Eilish know that.
No, I love it here. Like, this city is too amazing. I have a colonic next week. Like, this is the life. This is how we should all be living.
Oh my God, I had a colonic 2 days ago. Actually,
did you like
this
it?
is going,
in New
I don't want to
York?
say it on camera.
Okay. What I will say on camera, what I'll stand on, is a medical grade pedicure. Have you ever had a medi-pedi?
No.
Well,
but I'm guessing you have, so tell me about it.
I just got one for the first time. Surprisingly, in LA, I thought it would be like an easy find, but it's actually way more of a New York thing.
Okay.
And it started in New York. It's like a medical grade pedicure that just like your feet brand new. Like the baby's bottom, my heel is just, it is, delicious, divine to touch. I didn't realize feet could be sexy besides Rihanna, but my feet, fuck. My feet are brand new. They're gorgeous. They're everything. I don't know how I was not doing this before.
And do they polish at the end?
No, because it's not really like a salon. It's more of like you're going to a podiatrist. Like you're going to someone who's like does foot surgery to like go lift your ankles up and just kind of shave the shit out of them. It feels amazing. It feels like getting your ear canal cleaned out. Ever done that?
You're not supposed to do that. I heard you're not supposed to do that.
No. Oh.
Yeah, I heard
Well,
that's
I'd be
back.
doing it, and it feels great.
Mm.
So
Yeah, well, it's like that one tweet that was like, no, when I clean my ears with a Q-tip, I do it differently than other girls.
wait, but that's what you shouldn't be doing.
I
Is
know
a
you shouldn't be
Q-tip.
doing any of it, but I think the Q-tip is the worst. I was gonna say, oh, I know what I was gonna ask you. So then, how are you walking around LA toes bare, not your slutty little French manicure pedicure, French pedi?
Oh no! The French gel pedicure.
You do? Oh
Because
my
I was raised
god!
right.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I do gel pedicure. I'm
That
from
is-
LA.
that is
of course I do a
so-
gel pedicure.
That is so extreme. A gel pedicure is like another level of, I don't know, time and energy unlocked.
Of serving cunt. Didn't know that was a crime.
I can actually
Didn't
not
know.
imagine someone putting foil on my toes to get the gel.
Well, that's not how they
off.
take it off.
How do they take it off?
You
Then
know
tell
what?
me. Sorry, I've
Let
never
me
gotten it
live
done.
my truth. Let me live my life. But now I have a very cute French pedi, as all bad bitches do, including Rihanna and her
I
sexy
knew
feet.
it. Okay.
And freshly baby bottom looking little toes and heel after that. So yeah, feet are the new face. That's actually my hot take. So take care of it.
Feet are the new face. Okay, you haven't actually said like what happens in this pedicure. They just like shave.
They just shave
feet
your
a
shit
lot?
down. Yeah. Bunions, any like cracking on the back of your ankle. They do little sprays. They do a little lotioning. It's like literally a brand new foot. It's so nasty to watch it like kind of get your skin just be shaved off. But it was very pleasing to me and my homegirl, aka my toes.
It does sound very
so
satisfying.
I highly recommend.
Like a hydrofacial, when they pull out all that stuff from your skin, you can look in like the solution after and see how dirty it is. Like all the stuff that has been living on your skin.
Oh,
for
yeah.
weeks.
Or you could do that with the colonic.
The fact that is what it
that's my
looks like.
pitch.
When you get a colonic, do you watch?
I won't say
Like,
any more, but if you want to look at your colonic, you can.
You can. I feel like I should clarify that everything I was saying about divorce, not but 30 seconds ago, has nothing to do with the wedding I'm leaving for in T-minus 3.5 hours.
Well, let's get into what we're talking about this week so you can make your flight, queen.
Girl, you know where I'm going. If I miss the flight, it's okay because I'm going to Boston. This week, we're talking about the new romantic dramedy, Anora. Later, we're going to be joined by comedians and co-hosts of Straightiolab, George Severus and Sam Taggart, to talk about Halloween. Don't let my mom know. And then I need some new music to listen to. I think Addison Rae and Lady Gaga just delivered.
Yeah, so thank you and you're welcome. And don't forget that we have a bonus segment that drops every Thursday on Wondery Plus. This week, we're talking about the one and literal only Azealia Banks. So subscribe to Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts to check that out.
So let me just say this.
Let me say this.
Are you looking for a home for your worst opinions?
Are you a hater first and a lover of pop culture second? Consider this a glorified group chat, but we're not calling you out. No, we're calling you in. It's a safe space.
To talk shit.
But, of course, from Wondery, I'm Peyton Dix.
And I'm Hunter Harris.
And this is Let Me Say This.
Let me say this.
Let me say this.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
And you thought Bennifer was the craziest Vegas wedding to divorce pipeline you've ever seen. Have you seen Anora, the new Sean Baker movie? Because I saw it and girl, we have to talk about it.
If you haven't seen it yet, fast forward maybe 15 minutes or so. Spoilers, many in fact, ahead. The movie is about a sex worker named Anora who begins a relationship with a spoiled little billionaire brat named Ivan. Yes, you probably have one in your life. He favors kind of the type of Bushwick fuckboy meets, fuck girl or maybe hot lesbian that you love to hate in Bushwick.
So Anora, who goes by Ani, and her new husband and his tons and tons of money go to Vegas. They get married kind of on a whim. And then once they get back to New York where all this is taking place, his parents in Russia find out and they are adamant. Yvonne and Anora have to get a divorce, and it becomes Yvonne goes missing. They need to find him to get the marriage annulled, all of this stuff. But it is kind of, it won the Palme d'Or Cannes, and it's kind of the buzziest movie out right now. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree. I feel like it's one of the movies that even the first time I was introduced to it was when they did a premiere with all sex workers and strippers. And when I saw the heels, the pleasers clapping, I said, this one's going to be a hit. And is everywhere now. So if that's a way to hook someone, I don't know what is. But what was your immediate reaction to the film? What was your first hot take?
Okay, I don't know if this is a hot take, but like the movie is like split into these like two kind of clear parts. The first part is this Cinderella story where Anora and Yvonne are like really taken with each other. He is paying her to be like a companion. They have sex. They just kind of hang out a lot, like smoke weed together. And that part I was like not really into as much. And then it turns once they get married and Yvonne's parents find out, and then Yvonne like goes on the run and kind of leaves Anora like holding the bag for all of like the blame for the wedding and like annulment. And that part I was so much more invested in because it was just funny. It's like these long, almost like unbroken scenes of her and these goons, like his like handlers, Yvonne's handlers, like bickering back and forth. Like they try to tie her up. She's just her, what's her name? Mikey Madison.
Yeah.
Like just the well of rage and I don't know what, like desperation in every single moment I was very taken with.
Yeah. I was going to say, let's have a moment for the goons with the heart of gold. I love someone who's a henchman but a feminist at the same time. That divide, very me in many ways, but that divide was something that I think was such a strong attribute to these characters, these side characters that really helped build the world we were living in. Did you feel like you saw the correlation between Uncle Jams, at least in the second half, and then Anora in that bit? Did you feel that same kind of pace and stress or not really?
Not really. I mean, the Uncut Gems comparison, it's like, does it feel like a lot of people like loud, like a lot of people talking over each other and just stressful? Yes. But I think with Anora, it felt kind of almost funnier. Like Uncut Gems is funny, but it's not like parts of Anora play like a comedy, like her really just yelling at these men and them being like, you know, be careful because she will bite you. She will try to kick you. All of that stuff. I was like, wait, this is like literally, it reminded me a lot of like The King of Comedy, if you've ever seen that, where like when they take Jerry Lewis hostage, it feels a lot like you're watching people like suffer each other's incompetence in like a really, you know, charming and winning way. I did kind of feel though, I have to disagree. At some point I felt like, okay, it's nice that one of the henchmen is obviously like kind of taken with her and like maybe, you know, looking out for her and falling in love with her. But then at a certain point I was like, this is
you're
enough.
just over
This
it?
is enough. Yeah. I just felt like it felt like too clean of a conclusion
like a juxtaposition to this other kind of fuckboy.
Yes. Because the real despair of the movie to me and like what I was so moved by is how Yvonne to me like never seemed like worthy of Anora in some ways. And you see her kind of trying to make herself fit into his life and like as like another person who works for him or like, you know, maybe confuses that with love or whatever. But the way that this boy continues to disappoint her at every single turn by like not standing up for her, all of these things, that was like the like tragedy of the whole movie to me.
Something that I really struggled with was feeling even the initial attraction of to why he was so enticing to her outside of the financial component. Of course, sure. Yes, you're getting your check. Yes, you're getting that bag. But then I felt like he was too boyish for her. Like the charm element felt like there had to be some moment where she could actually take him seriously. And we only really see him, as you're saying, like cuddled up on him while he's playing video games, which I do think actually is, as a lesbian, I could see the heteronormative appeal of like laying up on a boy playing video games. I could see
like
that
Taylor
being
Swift
something
right
to
now.
be charmed by. But I felt like I needed to be a little bit more hooked on their relationship or what really set him apart from like a piece of shit with money that just is younger. And so like by proxy maybe is more open-minded or maybe of a different generation where he's a little bit more presenting as a caring person. So I wanted that to build a little bit more so I felt more of the stakes and more of the interest in her, because when she starts quite literally fighting for her life, quite literally biting, you know, I've always said this, but I love when a white bitch barks back. And this one does. But I feel like the fun and the joy I experienced in that, I still was waiting for the why of her wanting more than just, yes, his money and this lifestyle, but like the attachment felt like we were supposed to be convinced of something deeper. And I just didn't fully see it or feel it.
I think that's true. I think that one of the things, I mean, I leaving the theater, I was like, I didn't really like that, I don't know his name, the Yvonne actor's performance as much. I felt like he did kind of feel too boyish at times. It was funny when he like did that little backflip onto the bed where you're like, oh, this is like, oh, you're like a child. Like, this is kind of exhausting being around you. But at the same time, he had this kind of like sense of wonder about the world that comes from being white and being extremely wealthy, where like you never really have to like want for anything, which is, I think, what she was like so entranced by. But at the end of the day, some of my favorite parts from like the first half of the movie, when it's like their love story, were the moments when she's like sitting in bed with him, trying to get him to like be more interested in her, but like not wanting to push it. Do you know what I mean? Like wanting to like ask for things, but not ask for them like outright, and like make them something that his suggestions, which I was like, what a fine line for a woman to walk. And she plays that very convincingly. But yeah, I felt like I wasn't invested enough in their romance as a romance. But then the movie made it seem like this clear transaction of she wants to live in a world where she's like protected by wealth and status, felt like not enough of a, like not good enough. Does that make sense? Where like the movie itself seemed to have a judgment about, it's not enough. She has to love him. She can't just, want stuff from him.
I didn't need this to be a movie that was like, oh, she girl bossed and there was some really hyper obvious feminist happy ending. But I did feel like if we're going to try and position this as a pseudo almost love story, I get the Cinderella story aspect, but it's not a love story at all. And I felt like we either needed to like lean a bit further one way or the other. Something I will say I don't know if it was disappointed by, I think I just maybe could have done more research by, is I think I wanted a little bit more, at least in the first half, of the stripper world she is living in. I just have, maybe it's my hustler's mentality for wanting that kind of feel, at least in the first half of the film. But I wanted a little bit more of like the dynamics between the girls and in the strip club and the richness and the tapestry of her life before him. I'm not saying it was sparkly and new and shiny and then there's this guy that comes in, but I felt like I wanted to spend a little bit more time there.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. After the movie, I did kind of walk out thinking like, man, I really want to go home and watch the Usher scene in Hustlers, where it's like the perfect voiceover, like J-Lo leaning in saying like, what's your name? And he's like, Ursher, baby. Like, I wanted like that kind of like release. And also just because the movie itself just felt so like the last like 30 minutes to me just felt like such a well of disappointment, where the real like overriding feeling was like every person that she meets has like failed her, and no one more than this boy that she thought was like, thought he was like an adult, and really he's like revealed to be just like kind of a misbehaving, like,
she seemed a little too
boy.
smart to think that he would even be adult-like, though. Like, that's what I think also lost me a bit, is not just a lack of like love interest, but a little bit of a lack of, she seems to be a girl that she fights like she's a girl that is understanding of the world that she operates in, and not even just the world that she operates in, the world that we live in. And so I didn't feel so convinced that she would be like, oh, he
still
has
holding
real
on
power, or he might change for me. I mean, God forbid a bitch thinks a man's gonna change. If I had a nickel, I would be as rich as Ivan if I had a nickel for every time.
I know. But I also I felt like that was like the emotional arc is that she's holding, like, I just kept thinking about someone like clutching the side of like, I don't know, like a cliff or something. And she's like clutching, like trying to hold on. But like the tightness with which she's trying to hold on in this relationship is also what's kind of mangling it, because she keeps setting herself up for this disappointment. Because we can see in the very beginning that like he ain't shit and is not gonna like be truthful or even be like accountable or loyal to her, but she's like trying to push all of those concerns aside and just try to live in the moment. And I was like, geez, this is just so sad to watch.
Did you have any like standout performances or characters that you really fell in love with this film?
Yeah, okay. I loved the I think his name was like Toro, like the main kind of handler of Yvonne, like driving around in his car whenever like every reaction he has to like everyone being so like not listening to him or like being incompetent. That stuff I loved. I thought one of the other henchmen who like threw up in the car, I was like, he's a little bit too comic relief in some ways. But the guy like the camel coat, I thought that was so funny, especially when he was in the like the courthouse toward the end, like the New York City courthouse, and he keeps saying objection, objection, and the judge is like, "You're not objecting to anything. Like, also, you shouldn't even be speaking." Like,
but also the judge being like the man in the camel coat. For some reason, that was so funny to me.
No, it was cunt. He said, "And I see you and your Hugo Boss."
Yeah, lots of coat acting in this film. The fur coat. The
Oh my
camel
gosh,
coat.
her fur, but the like juxtaposition of the fur coat and then like the like kind of like curve of the heeled boot. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is like. What a stunning image. And the red scarf. The red scarf.
A moment for the red scarf. Yeah, some side characters, the fur coat, the red scarf.
Yeah.
I will say,
I have a question for you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, mink coat in this or yellow coat in the substance?
Marry, fuck, kill. Okay, mink coat. But I would fuck the mink coat and I would marry the yellow coat in the substance.
Yeah, that's
right. Actually my answer.
Because you're a working woman. That you need that yellow coat to get business.
Yeah. She's consistent. She'll stand by you. I will say one of my favorite characters, not even because of the performance element, just knowing that she was there, was like the dyke that ran the strip club or like helped run the strip club. And when they're fighting and she's like, girls. I love when a stud is involved. There always needs to be at least one stud in a film.
She was,
and this one was taking it.
She was one of my favorite characters, especially like her little like suit. I was like, okay, business, manager. And then also when Anora is like leaving the strip club like to get married, and the manager is like crying a little bit. I was like, wait, that's so sweet. Yeah. I wanted more of like that moment, you know,
exactly,
that kind of like,
exactly.
That's like the camaraderie family thing, which I think they had a little bit of, but it needed a little bit more of that.
Yeah. Okay. Also, did you have any favorite lines from the film or moments?
Probably the courtroom scene I really liked. And then just the whole like it was just a super long sequence of them trying to like tie Anora up in the house and like her biting them, kicking them, running out, the men talking to each other being like, you don't know how crazy she is. Like she will bite you, she will kick you, she will try to get away. And every man like underestimating her and her just going like crazy on them. I thought that was like brilliant.
Every time a new man enters the scene being like, oh my God, untie her. Like this looks so crazy. And they're like, oh, she's crazy. You will see. And did. My bitch is consistent. Yeah, I love that.
Yes, I loved that.
I will say, when I watch a film, I always come away being like, what is the line, right? Like, what is like the line in the moment that I'm like, and this is what's going to stick with me for the rest of time. And for me, it was the scene when her like arch nemesis in the club, this girl named Diamond, a redhead.
Who was not giving anything, mind you. I was like, how is this girl your nemesis? That's a promotion for her. Okay, anyway, go on.
But the scene that I love and the line that I love is when Diamond is stealing Ivan and dry humping him, grinding on him. They interrupt to pull Ivan out, and Diamond screams, "Get out of my fucking private, bitch!" And it's the delivery of that line, like I know Miss Girl was ready to do that. She said, one take, and we're good. And she ate that. For a second, I was like, was it the touche, as in like the touche moment? With
yes.
Igor?
Yeah, that was cute.
And then I was like, that's too easy. The real line is, "Get out of my fucking private, bitch." With the woman's husband. Sorry. Diamond was kind of real as fuck for that. So that's a line that's going to be up here. Anytime Hunter gets in my business, that's what I'm going to say. Get out of my fucking private bitch.
What?
To her.
Hold on. Now, hold on. I'm never in your business.
No.
Only when I need to
like
be.
you.
Only when I need to be.
Only when you need to hold me accountable.
Yes, I'm not calling you out. I'm calling you in. I think Mikey Madison Oscar nomination incoming. What do you think?
Absolutely. I would hope so. I mean, that performance was fucking spectacular. I love a bitch who can emote with her eyes in a way that is like nothing else is moving and you're feeling everything right here. But I hope she gets an Oscar nomination. I'm fighting
for anything else, she's already won because she doesn't have an Instagram. I'm like, that is the most chic thing alive.
Okay, so we didn't get the Oscar nom with J-Lo, but we are manifesting.
Why'd you have to bring that up? Why'd you have to bring that up? Bring up my trauma,
I was hurt too. That was the only time I was hurt.
Okay.
The only time I was riding with J-Lo was with Hustlers, and you know that. No Oscar nom for J-Lo. R.I.P. hopeful Oscar nom for Mickey.
Yes.
Butt munchers. Yeah. It's our time. Happy Halloween.
Oof. And I'm so happy that we have the hosts of Straightiolab on Will Ferrell's Big Money Players Network here. I'm here in New York with George Severus.
And I'm here in LA with Sam Privilege.
So Straightiolab is an intellectual podcast where smart comedians like these two guys unpack the rich, multicolored tapestry of straight culture.
I have a very important question for you both. Whoever's brave enough to take it first. Are you a lover or are you a hater?
I'm brave. I can take it.
Go.
I think definitively we are both we are lovers through hate.
Mhm.
I
We're
think
also-
we
yeah.
we are so pessimistic and cynical that suddenly when we but just because we love the world so much,
Yeah?
And we
that
want it to
just
be better.
crave perfection and beauty.
No, this is
That was
a
such
big,
an LA answer.
This is a big tenet of our thinking, I think, is like we think being negative is actually a positive thing because it means that you're optimistic about the world and want it to be better. It's like it's sort of like how if you're on the far left politically, you know you're going to lose every time, but yet you have to keep dreaming of a better world, y'all. That's not how
I was
we
just
are
about to
with
say, okay, Kamala Harris with this answer of
Yeah.
like, we're actually dreaming up a better, bigger future.
Exactly.
really
Don't ask us
strongly
for any
believe in critique.
specifics, but it's going to be bigger and it's going to be better.
Yeah,
heard.
exactly.
I also think we are recovering haters in this way. We used to, or at least I used to think that the biggest sign of intelligence was just like hating everything. And now I'm trying to be more mindful.
Yes,
of
I
that.
I was once a freshman in college too.
Exactly.
Like I once had that mindset of like I have to be the foulest bitch alive
Exactly.
to prove how smart I am.
Also, sometimes when you're being overly critical, it's like you're the one being stupid for not thinking deeply about something.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like I just was reading something about the substance that was like, well, this is just pantsuit feminism all over again. And it's like, no, it's not. You're just
That's
you're
crazy
just you're
too.
you know what I mean?
Because it's like you just fundamentally misunderstood the entire
Exactly.
movie.
And it's also like, actually, you're not thinking deeply about it. You think you're so smart and that you're seeing right through this thing. And it's like, no, that's smarter than you are.
yeah.
And the scariest thing is someone taking the substance that serious to write that kind of hot take or
Right.
think piece about it. That's what actually like makes me clutch my pearls. But
Yeah.
an important follow-up question is, are you a lover or hater of Halloween?
Oh, this is complex
Okay.
because I used to really love Halloween. I thought it was like the most fun holiday we have.
Oh.
And I loved the costumery and I loved sort of the decor. But now I'm like, what's the point?
Oh, and actually, I would say I'm the opposite. I really,
Really?
I was one of these precocious kids that grew up fast. And I would say like throughout my 20s, I was like, oh my God, we're adults. Like, why are people dressing up? This is so embarrassing. Like, I one time went to a very intense Halloween party in LA and I was the only person not dressed up. And it was the most humiliating moment of my life. And I was just like, I don't have it in me. Like, I'm just not, this is not where I'm going to put my energy. Cut to last year, I actually had one of the best Halloween costumes in history, I believe, which is that I was Cheryl Strayed in Wild while hiking. And, Reese Witherspoon as Cheryl Strayed in Wild.
Yes.
And I did like a big photo shoot and I kind of perfectly recreated one of her iconic looks. And so since then, I'm actually now back into Halloween in a big way. And
I have to say, this is so toxic of George to be like, well, I didn't like Halloween until I got attention
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Wait,
Like,
hold on.
So I served cunt, and now I'm
Oh, I
like,
actually have
I
another
get why you
Halloween
do
story.
it for
No,
the attention.
Now I
Say
actually
it,
love
say it, say it.
Halloween.
Wait, I have
no
another
one
Halloween
told me that I
story.
could get attention.
I've told this story a billion times, so apologies. When I was maybe 22, my ex and I, this was the year 2 On by Tinashe came out, and my ex and I were 2 on switches. So we were like giant cardboard light switches, and it was like me and them just as 2 light switches. And Tinashe reposted it on Instagram, which at the time meant she took a screenshot and posted it full grid and was like LOL and then tagged us.
Wait, that's iconic.
Wow.
I have to say, the Wild. I just saw that photo. I guess did you repost it
I
recently?
reposted it.
Because I saw it.
Yeah, it sort of is a monthly thing.
I saw it and I was like, wait, this is so fucking funny. Also, Wild in my head permanently is my dad asking me, is that the movie where Reese Witherspoon does all that walking?
Yeah.
And it's like,
It is
yeah,
the movie where Reese
totally,
Witherspoon does
It
all
is.
that goddamn walking.
It's a very good summary.
My friend
actually.
one time thought it was called The Walk.
Honestly, that's a director's cut. Not no. I'm
Yeah.
sure that exists somewhere in the intro. You've actually led us to a perfect transition because we have been grappling with this question, which is like, is Halloween so straight or so gay?
To
Yeah.
be clear, I have not been grappling with that question.
You
I
think
think
it's-
really,
Hunter
I'm-
actually is the one that brought it to the space. So,
I'm hearing this for the first time. I think Halloween is, I think more than anything, it's kind of like white. I think white Halloween is something.
Oh,
I
race.
think white
We've
people
gone
take,
race.
Yeah, I think white people take Halloween like very, very seriously in a way that I'm like, it's a bit much.
I don't think you've ever been to a Howard campus though, because Black people turn it the fuck up too, bitch.
I'm like, I mean, far be it for me to sort of argue about specifically Black people's place in Halloween. But the first thing that came
No,
to my
say it.
mind
Speak
in
on
terms
it.
of like, in terms of racial relations in Halloween, I was like, well, Thriller is so Halloween to me, and that's such iconic Black culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like to me, Michael Jackson is such a Halloween icon. Is that correct? Everyone's silent.
So
I
we've
get
summoned
kicked out.
Michael Jackson into the space.
Yeah, he's
I
definitely
actually-
scary.
By the way, he's innocent. I love him.
I just think that Black people like what was the word used earlier? Costumery, which I love,
Sure,
by the way.
sure.
That is such a
Costumery
Sam
is just
word.
part of like daily presentation and like play and performance. But I do think the excitement in which like a Black person is never hosting a Halloween party. That's white people territory. And I will say, I used to think I was leaning on, oh, is Halloween obviously yes so straight until your answer, George.
Mm.
And then I was like, oh wait, no, Halloween is for faggots.
Here's what I think Halloween gets gayer the older you get, because when you're like 22, it's like, well, yeah, everyone does it. It's like, and it's even like a little frat coded. It's like it's very gendered. It's very like, boy is this, girl is this. But then as you're like, when you're like 35 and you're still like, well, I'm going to be Sonya from Mortal Kombat. That's when it's like, okay, now this is queer.
Yeah.
Like this is really bold.
Hyper specificity is so queer.
I think, Sam, you're onto something where it's like Halloween when you're young and kind of dumb and single and you're just like trying to like have an excuse to wear something sexy. That's like very straight Halloween.
Agreed.
But it seems
Yeah.
like the kind of like actual thoughtfulness and like effort that goes into being one very specific photo of Reese Witherspoon as Cheryl Strayed is like, wow, yeah.
That is
Applause. I live for the applause.
Yes,
Applause,
no,
applause.
I love
live
your
for the
allyship,
applause.
Hunter. That was really said with like a fist, a paw up, if you will.
Well,
Yeah.
thank- I am an
Extreme
ally. Thank
disease,
you
extreme
so much.
disease.
Well, no, it's also straight. It's also so kids. Like Halloween is a very like children friendly holiday, like trick or treating.
Yes.
It's very nuclear family, like getting the kids together to go trick or treating. Trusting your neighbors. There's something so innocent and like small town Gilmore Girls about it.
Yeah. Now that I'm a mother, I take Halloween very seriously. Remy, my dog, had 4 Halloween costumes last year. She was Nene Leakes at the season 9 reunion of Atlanta Housewives. She was the Renaissance tour. She had a little gray outfit and a silver cowboy hat. And she was, Ratatouille, the rat from
I'm
Ratatouille.
familiar.
and then what was her 4th costume? Peyton, do you remember?
I mean, you had the nerve to say Black people don't celebrate Halloween, and then with the same breath, you said I dressed my dog up in 4 different
Yeah.
costumes.
Well,
This was
okay.
all 1 year?
Yes, we had multiple outfit changes that day.
That was pretty Heidi Klum of you, I have to say, to come out. guns
Wait,
blazing.
did you see my Halloween
We're
costume
getting in the
last year?
thousands of dollars.
Wait,
here.
what was your Halloween costume last year?
I was Club Chalamet.
Oh, that's good. That's
Big
that's
really
really
forehead,
good.
glasses. I went to fucking Barnes and Noble and got a copy of Chimney Chalamet's GQ cover.
Oh my
good.
God. Wait.
No, some people
Wait,
bring it.
that's
It's
actually,
okay.
I'm so curious. Do you have like a favorite? This is a question for the group. A favorite Halloween costume. It could be yours or it could be one that you saw.
Well, I had a journey. I had a trilogy that I really enjoyed, where I was like, it's not groundbreaking, but I was different pop girls each year, but in a way that was like, I first did Ariana Grande, and I looked so bad. You've never seen someone look so ugly in their lives.
Yeah.
In a way that I was like, this is groundbreaking in a way that I can't quite describe. This is putting a mirror to society in a really bizarre way.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like completely crazy. And then the next year I was like, okay, so I have to continue this. Like people were like, this is an amazing costume because I didn't know a person could look this way.
That's powerful and impactful.
And so then I was Swish Swish Katy Perry, and then I was Joanne Gaga, and all of which, that I sort of do this little thing where it's like, okay, I have one, like it's Halloween. you have one day to put this together.
Yeah.
And then whatever I can do, I do right then. And I always look really bad for the Katy Perry, because it was when she had like her short hair. I like just put like Halloween dust in my hair to be like, it's blonde now. Like,
right, the short blonde hair. Oh, brave of you. Really brave.
And again, it's like, what is wrong? It looked so bad. And I really think that was my proudest achievement.
Yeah. To honor women like that is radical.
I would say her least iconic
Her least
look. Her
iconic
most
look.
hated look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should, this year I'm going to do Witness Katy Perry and be in a room with, who was she with for like
Oh
24
my God,
hours?
DeRay McKesson.
DeRay McKesson. Yeah,
Yes.
me and DeRay
Yeah.
McKesson. After my big comments on Michael Jackson, my next move is that I'm gonna heal with DeRay McKesson.
Oh my God. You should have your husband like wear the blue vest.
That's right. Oh yeah. Oh perfect. Yes, my white husband should be DeRay McKesson for Halloween, and I will be
I
Katy
think that's
Perry.
going to go over really well. Yeah, it's going to go over really well in the right communities. I'm excited for
Yeah.
you. I will say the one year I didn't realize we switched to being sexy was my personal favorite costume. I was a dandelion. Brag. I was wearing a green jumpsuit, and then I had like a lion mane and like face. So it was
Oh,
like,
well,
you know,
that's
like
fun.
so fun, but everyone else was a slut.
Wait,
Like it was literally like Mean Girls.
Yeah.
And
What era of your life was this?
like 8th, maybe 9th grade.
Oh, that
Oh,
is when
damn.
it switches. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
tough.
I
That's
was-
really tough.
But thank God I had tits by then. So I was like, phew, fuck you bitches. I got tits. I got these. I might be in a green jumpsuit, but I got these.
Why did
So-
my mind go dandelion as in like a black dandy, like the Met Gala theme, like a
Wow,
very
that's
like
so
a
high
very
I know, I
was thinking
that as well.
lion.
Thank you for thinking
Dandy
so
lion-
highly of me.
Wait, that's a really good pun costume. A dandy, like a lion who is a dandy.
Watch this space.
Wow.
Maybe it's gonna be me. No, it's not gonna be me.
Some of us were living in 2050, so hate to brag.
My favorite Halloween moment was actually very recently when I watched the episode of New York Housewives, when it's like Ramona is Britney Spears.
Oh yes.
Carol is Amelia Earhart, and she's like, I have to smoke because she smoked. And it's like, what? And then
She smoked?
Dorinda was
Lady Gaga with the balloons.
with all these things.
with the
And
bubbles.
she keeps saying, like, oh, I had Andrew Samberg's person from In A Lil make it for me. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? She's like, one of the SNL person, one of the NSM person didn't make it. And it's like, it's gibberish.
Yeah.
It's just, oh God.
Speaking of Gaga, the grip that Gaga had on Halloween costumes during the like Fame era
Oh,
was
like the meat dress?
well, it was meat dress, it was telephone, it was
Well, even like hair bow. you
Hair
could do,
bow.
like-
Yeah.
also that specific Bubbles costume. I feel like the putting a bunch of clear balloons on you was like a big thing. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah,
talking-
Yeah. I watched the Glee episode, the Gaga Glee episode.
Exactly.
I'm off book.
It was
I
very like
remember.
night of 500 Gagas every year for approximately 7 years.
Yeah, that was fun. I miss it.
I know.
We used
I
to have
hope
monoculture.
I know.
Now
it's
everyone's a
true.
meme.
I will say I like love when specifically celebrities do to who were you just talking about? I'm not off book with housewives stuff, but like
Here
when
we
celebrities
go.
or people with money and access do Halloween bad.
Yeah.
Like I think it's
Yeah.
so funny.
yeah.
I'm like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
have all that income and this is what you came up with.
There's
But-
one specific year where Zoe Kravitz was like a hungover vampire, and she just wore vampire teeth with a little like blood coming out the side of her mouth and like a robe, like the Bowery Hotel. I'm like, sorry.
Okay, at that point,
what?
don't do Halloween. I don't
Zoe
believe in
Kravitz
not
is a
dressing up, but don't do
classic-
that.
Classic example of someone who's, in terms of her sense of humor, is like 80% there and can't take those final 2 steps.
Oh, so you
know
saw
what I mean?
Blink twice.
Well, but there is something where it's like she does almost get it. Like she's a cool girl.
yeah.
But it's not
Yeah.
all the way where you're like, but I can still tell you grew up so like rich and weird with Lenny Kravitz as a dad.
Well, cool girl is also a curse. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we've
I
seen
know,
like
I've actually been
from it.
suffering this whole time. Shackles on my wrists. Yeah.
I've seen so many cool girls do stand up, and you're always like, oh, don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
Oh, so
You
still
stick to what
saying
you
our
know.
You can be
podcast.
cool
Okay,
in your way.
great.
You can be cool in your way. Just go to
Yeah,
parties and be
that's how-
funny.
That's how I felt watching Blink Twice, which is like, just stick to being a cool girl. Just sell me some YSL Beauty.
Ugh.
You
I
don't need
don't
to
understand
name
how
villains.
when Blink Twice first was on the scene, there was a very minor news cycle where it was like, this is the most amazing movie ever, and then suddenly everyone turned on it.
I think people saw it. I think people who were like, talking about it being amazing hadn't seen it yet. I thought the trailer was really good.
I agree.
No, the trailer was amazing. She should win something for the
For the
trailer.
trailer, for the trailer.
I mean, that was hard. It's hard to create trailers like that.
Okay, I want to hear from everybody. What are you going to be for Halloween this year?
I have a confession.
Oh, fuck.
This is not where I wanted to do this. I didn't want to come out here. I have no plans currently. I have no plans to be anything. I am flying by the seat of my pants. Hopefully something strikes me in the next 24 hours. But everyone in the studio is currently pulling out knives.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is like one of the scariest things I've ever
There's
witnessed.
a
I'm going to have to like
gun.
run out of here. But I have zero plans. George, what are you going to be?
So unlike Sam, I actually have a pretty packed schedule this year.
Oh my God.
Well, socialite.
Oh my God. I moved. I'm in a new city,
I
George.
actually, dare I say, am going to 2 parties in one night after attending the theater that same night because I bought theater was offered a +1 from someone else who is more successful than I am. I am currently, my plan, which I need to sort of finagle a little bit, is I want to be George Michael, but I haven't decided which era and which look. There's, in the Faith video, he's sort of just in like ripped jeans, like leather jacket and like tinted aviators, which is simple enough. The question is, do I then go wig and get like 80s George Michael hair?
Wig. I was going to say
or
wig.
do I do late career George
Wig?
Michael?
Wig. I was
Wig.
going to say wig.
Yeah, you said that like Katy
I have to go wig.
Yeah.
But it just
That's
has to be
fast.
good. Because what Sam has learned and what I have learned and what many gay men have learned is that you think you can do, I understand George Michael is a man, but you think you can do quick drag on Halloween and it never turns out the way you think it's going to turn out. Like,
it's
no.
so
you always think you
bad.
can just
Baby.
like go to a wig store. No. You can't just go to a wig store on Halloween. Like if you're going to do, because my dream has always been to be Divine and from my husband to be John Waters. That like me, like Divine in like full drag with like the red dress and the gun, and then him in like pencil mustache, skinny suit. But it's like then I would need to hire Aquaria for the day.
For sure. I mean, good wigs cost budget. If Nicole Kidman can suffer through some wigs, like how are
Yeah.
we, the plebeians, the regular people, supposed to get a good wig? Like we've not got the money for that.
No.
Wait, Hunter, what are you and Remy going to be? Because I know that answer includes her.
Okay, Remy is going to be a sandworm from Dune,
That's really good.
and she's also going to be a dragon from House of the Dragon. I can't tell them apart, the dragons, so I don't know which one.
Interesting. So
She'll be a
no
red one.
Mudang, which I think is going to be a very popular dog and child.
Sorry,
Oh.
Mudang is done. She's
I
over.
agree.
She's milkshake ducked herself.
Oh, she's over.
she's
I
canceled.
think she's over.
I
She's
think
canceled.
she
And
is.
just
Mudang
like
is
that,
canceled.
this town is tough.
And then I did order an old flip phone, and I'm gonna actually maybe take this shirt. I'm gonna be Julia Roberts wearing the shirt that says "Aloe Vera."
Oh, that's really good.
Oh,
Oh,
fun.
good. That's
smart,
good.
Smart.
Genius. I might be a dandelion, actually.
Don't be a bitch. Okay, I just recovered from that. I'm going to be breaking Harper from Industry.
Ooh, that's really good.
And not even because I think it's that good of a costume, but only because I get accusations that compliments actually, that I favor her.
Accusations.
She's a friend of mine, and we were like, we look very different. She is also like half my size, but I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna be the Korean shooter girl from the
Oh,
Olympics.
fun.
Oh, Mahal is
Yeah.
a friend of yours. I was like, that's not real, that show.
What?
No, you were like, Harper is a friend of mine. You meant Mahala. I was like,
Oh my God!
I
yeah.
was like, it's not a documentary.
You're like, Payne, that's not
That's
real
not-
life.
you
Payne.
paid
That's
help.
Succession.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I actually
you said
know
that's
I am
not
that
real
dumb.
life. That's
important.
Succession.
But thank you so much for coming on. Let me say this. Where can everyone follow you online?
Follow me on Instagram at Sam Taggart and our podcast Straightiolab at Straightiolab. And George.
And I'm at George Severus. And sorry I randomly brought up Michael Jackson. I don't know why I did that. I was
Yeah,
just thinking of
and
iconic Halloween things.
and I want to say sorry for not having a Halloween costume because obviously, you sent the email. It says we're going to be talking about Halloween. And I said, maybe they just won't ask.
Isn't that funny?
Maybe they just won't ask the most obvious question there is.
Yeah, I would have taken a lie, actually. What the fuck?
The way that I just said, no.
They said, that's actually not my business. Well, don't look out for your costume, but we can look out for George's costume.
Oh, if
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
Sam, he's gonna come
Remy's
up with
in mine.
he's gonna come up with a last minute, Addison Rae, very
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
drag.
There's time yet. There's
Addison
time
Rae
yet.
and Aquamarine or something.
Well,
We'll see. We'll see.
Life finds a way.
Lady Gaga and Addison Rae, yeah, they went ahead and gave the gays what they want. New music, and on some ends, a new music video as well. Lady Gaga dropped her latest single, Disease, last night, and Addison Rae simultaneously dropped her new single, Aquamarine. And I'm grateful because we are so back. I guess Nurtec works because Lady Gaga is back in her bag. This song, my immediate feeling was like, oh, we're in like Alejandro era. Like we are going to get a music video of a lifetime, especially because Paris Goebel, the choreographer of My Heart and Dreams, is the one behind it. So we know we're going to get some choreo here. We're going to get some visuals, and I can't wait. What was your reaction?
I'm so thankful to Gaga's, I guess, fiance or just boyfriend. The man who was the man in her life who said, we need you to come back to pop music. We need you to put down the Harley Quinn, put down the jazz standards, and get back and make some fucking pop music, because
Get your ass in the studio.
this song is so good, and it kind of feels like, I know people are gonna be mad, but it kind of feels like what Dua Lipa was like trying to like reach toward in a like little bit of a way with Houdini, but like every other song on the album like didn't get that memo. Disease feels like a real pop girl moment. I'm happy.
Yeah, and shout out, like you said, to her man, because I think he co-wrote it with her, is what I saw.
Oh yeah,
And
saw
I
that
was
too.
like, oh, that's a man that was like, oh, if you're not gonna get on your Zune, I'm gonna at least make sure you're set up. Okay, we're gonna link and build. We're gonna co-work. We're gonna collaborate.
This is so Star is Born coded. Like this is so her man making her do music. It's like literally the inverse of a Star is Born, except her man likes her music. He's not like mad about it.
Yeah, and that's the kind of man we need for her, actually. Okay, wait, what were your first reactions to Addison Rae, Aquamarine?
Unfortunately, I was listening to this song as I was watching Love is Blind. So but I liked it. I thought it was a like way different from Diet Pepsi, Diet Coke. Yeah. But I don't know, girl. We Will Rock You. Was that Pepsi? Pepsi commercial. Yeah, anyway. But I still liked it. Not as much, but it yeah.
Not as much as Diet Pepsi, or
Not
were
as
you
much as Diet
comparing it
Pepsi.
to-
Not as much as Diet Pepsi.
Yeah. No, Diet Pepsi is certified bop, goes platinum in my household. But I will say I wasn't taken with Aquamarine at first, but then when I listened to the song with the music video, I said, this is everything.
Yeah.
And I'm
okay.
so excited to like watch her pop career continue to take off. I do agree with Azealia Banks, which we will get to this in Wondery Plus, but I do agree with Azealia Banks that more white girls need to be singing from their diaphragm and not just crooning. But I do like Addison Rae as a soft pop crooner, as like a song to do LSD to. Like that feels like exactly the kind of music she needs to be making. And I do want more of it. I'm excited to see what she does. And I forgot that bitch is a dancer first. I know she was born on TikTok in that way, doing her little, I don't even know what to call it. Sometimes TikTok dances feel like a step routine to me. Like white people's version of a step routine. I have no follow-up information on that, but that's a feeling.
I like Addison Rae, but I think my favorite thing about Addison Rae is that every one of her songs could and probably should be a Selena Gomez song. And listen, I'm sorry to say it, but Addison Rae's songs are very boppy, kind of like repetitive in a very soothing way. Also do not require a ton of vocal natural ability and gift.
Yes.
And that's kind of Selena Gomez's whole thing. I mean, you listen to Diet Pepsi and you're like, I'm thinking about like Fetish or Rare, and I'm like, oh, this is like, they're kind of having the same conversation. And I'm a Selenator, so, but bravely, I still like Addison Rae.
Wait, you said something actually really important. Like that maybe Selena Gomez is doing the feminist thing and leaving room for other girls to rise, and that's why she's not taking the bait of these songs. So
yeah, I don't think so. I think she's busy fucking on Only Murders in the Building, solving a murder in a building. I was like, move. Oh my God. Okay, I know most of my time today will be spent with Gaga and Addison Rae, like their new music, but I have to just say one thing for Halsey and the great impersonator stuff. I've seen 20 of these impersonations now, and I'm like, oh Lord, I guess I have to listen. I have to know what all of these have been about.
Well, you go ahead and you do that, queen, and you let me know what she has to say.
You said report back.
But if I learned anything from Addison Rae, it's that I should have gotten off my work Zoom and on to TikTok in 2020, thrown my little ass back, shout out to Debbie Allen Dance Academy, and then maybe I would be releasing a pop single the same day as Lady Gaga. But I'm actually, so I'm recording this podcast with you. So until then.
You would go against Gaga? Oh my God. Delusions of grandeur, excuse me.
Thank you, actually. That's a compliment in my book. Well, that's it for this week. As usual, we are 2 online, so you don't have to be.
I keep wanting to say Anora, like kind of like Italian bag. Does that make any sense?
Not at all. To Hunter's mom, I am so sorry that you listened to this episode about Halloween. I swear I'm a child of God.
And I kind of need Gaga on the Brat remix now. Is that too crazy to say? Like, it would be tectonic plate shifting, if you know what I mean.
I don't think so, but that might get Kamala a win. We'll see.